Hi, beautiful souls. As I've mentioned a few times, I've been sleeping lots lately. This sleeping has offered um, a great opportunity to remove resistance from the physical body. Whenever anybody has some illness or anything that they need to transmute and transcend, then it does take a lot of awareness to be able to keep releasing all of those dysfunctional aspects within you that you've created along the way. And so sleeping is a really good thing to do, because it just means that you can go to sleep, the body can work on its own without your without your messy humanness getting in the way. And then you have these incredible dreams. And these dreams are so colourful, so clear, so soothing, so transcendent and enlightening, that when you awake into the morning or the afternoon or whatever time it is of the day that you're having a sleep, you have already done so much more work than you might have done if you had remained awake all day long. And of course, this is something else that is so vital to say and to remember, is that your wisdom comes from within. You can read all the books you like. You can poke your nose out there and look out there to see what's going on. But everything that you're creating is being created through you. And so if you're not going within and listening to the guidance within, you're only going to keep on creating the old. And if the old isn't serving you, then you do need to take a good look within. And you do need to address whatever needs addressing within you. And you do need to start to become super aware of your inner guidance system, because that is the best point of advice you will ever receive in your entire existence in this human form whilst you're here. Well, you might not remain as a human form whilst you're here. After all, the human form is really pretty dense. Not only dense as in stupid, because humans are pretty silly, but dense also as in limited. And so when we bypass the human, as in not in a horrible way, but when we start to lighten up and allow all of our multidimensional aspects to also come into play fully with us, then what we show ourselves as and what other awakened hearts will see is so much more than just your human form. The amount of times you look at people and you see different aspects of them, you're like, oh my goodness, I just saw your mermaid self, or I just saw you as your galactic Pleiadian self. There's so many different aspects to each of us, and we are all of it. And why would we limit ourselves just to being a human form here on Earth when we can experience everything in the most delightful way? At the moment, I've been working a lot with the Pleiadians. And today I saw a message from one of my friends, and it sparked something within me as to share a bit about my Pleiadian work lately. And it was like, gosh, all these different beings, which are also part of ourselves, they all arrive just at divine and perfect timing. And so whilst I may have worked with Pleiadians in the past, this is a different form of work that I'm now doing with them. And the more that we work with different aspects, the more we keep expanding our consciousness. And the more we expand our consciousness, we see beyond what most people see. In fact, most people see a very limited perspective of what's available. And yet, the more you open up, the more you start seeing other parts. It's like a game. It's really just like one of those computer games years ago. Probably not the best example, but years and years ago, I used to have computer game called Grand Theft Auto. This was the first one when it first came out. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a good thing to do to your consciousness. But at the time, I was not seeing things that way. But each time you got to another level, something else would drop down and you would have these new gifts that were available to you, like mostly shooting or something strange like this. But in doing that, you're like, oh wow, this is so cool because now I can do this and now I can do that. Well, this is exactly the same with when you are honing your different multidimensional aspects, because it takes, well, I mean, I know that everything can happen quickly, and for more and more people things will happen a lot quicker than for all of us that have been doing this work for years, because we've been anchoring it into the grid and we've been helping the people that are awakening now to now begin to do these things much faster than we were able to, because we were the pioneers. I say we, well, you know, what define the word pioneer? There's people that are way more pioneering than me, but you know, there are still so many people to wake up, let's put it that way. If you look at the general collective consciousness on this planet and see how many are awakening, well, a lot more awakening now, but there are still in their slumber, and you know, who knows when that will happen or how many linear years. And you know, really that's none of our business to worry about any of that. It's up to their soul to decide when it's their moment to experience that awakening on the earth. However, it is easier than ever to ascend on this planet right now, easier than it's ever been. So whilst you get these ascended masters that are so incredibly helpful, you know, for them, when they ascended, it was so much more challenging for them. They didn't have the light that we have today. They didn't have all of that, but they still did it. And they're not whinging about any of it. And they're not going, oh, we were the original pioneers either. They're so much more humble in the way that they go about things. And really, there's so much to learn from them. But you can learn from so many different beings out there, but you can also mostly learn from yourself, because you've done all of this already, and you're already masterful, and you're already galactic, and you're already angelic, and you're already everything that you could ever wish to be. You're already everything you could ever wish to be. Takes going within, takes responsibility, determination, discipline, focus, and being able to let go of that doesn't serve you, with love, with kindness, and concentrate on what you are creating. And when you're creating, make sure that you're creating with love, in service. And when I say in service, for a greater perspective, a greater situation, a greater well-being for all life, not just for the individual, but of course, there's no way that would be part of somebody's path, really, if they were really interested in ascension and enlightenment. They would be truly interested in the collective path. That's the humble way, because you know that if everything is good, everything is good. Being good for one doesn't make it good for being here. You know, you could ask for everything that you want for just you. But if you go outside the walls of your house and there's war and everything else, and suffering and starvation and everything else going on, how is that nice? It's no different to those people that live in what's it called, South Africa, that have great big gates and barbed wire around their homes. What kind of a way to live life is that? Well, they tucked up inside with all their riches, terrified of going outside. I mean, that's no way to live. And that's really what could happen if somebody just focuses on themselves and not focuses on the bigger picture. The bigger picture of this earth is that we bring harmony and we bring light and love for all, shared as one unity consciousness. And so when we When we act, we're acting through love for all. How can I benefit all? And we do this by, first of all, we work on ourselves, because if you aren't in alignment with higher love, you have nothing to offer anyone else. You can be a hindrance, in fact. You really can be a hindrance if you're going around and you're not taking good care to nurture and make yourself as light as possible. The more light you carry, the more light you can share and pass to others. Just by being, just through being. You don't even have to do anything. Just by being. Others like, ooh. And then they feel lighter. And then they go to somebody. And then they feel lighter. And we spread love. And that's a beautiful feeling. But this whole earth is opening up. This whole earth is opening up for those that go within, that are courageous enough to go within and to keep doing the work in whatever way that shows up, because you have to allow it in. You have to allow yourself to hear the guidance from within. And sometimes it might not make sense, especially if you're very much of a person that's so used to using your head all the time. And then suddenly you're like, oh, well, I do believe I just saw a star being and they said to me to try this, but I don't think I'll do that because that's a bit strange. No, do it. See where it leads you. Open your mind, expand. It's a really good way to live from this space. The only reason so many people can't see things is because they haven't expanded their consciousness enough. And so they're so adamant that they're right in their egotistical minds that they think, oh, that person must be stupid. They can't see. That must be just their imagination. Because they're so convinced they're right from their limited perspective. And they lack that humble ability to be able to see truth because they haven't opened up their fields enough. That's why it's so important to remain humble and to keep coming back and breathing, going within, asking questions, applying divine neutrality, regulating the nervous system. If something springs it into action, oh, okay, calm. What happened there? How can I clear that? Okay, let that clear. Send some love there. Okay, we're good. We're all good. Compassion for that person. Ease and grace for that person on their path. They're doing their best. And their human is purging. That's what that was. All is well. All is good. Open yourself up and allow yourself to receive the love and the light from the different aspects of you, within you. Keep expanding and stretching your horizons and bringing it all forth through your heart into your physical, so that you are truly experiencing everything you wished to experience whilst you were here on this planet, in this now. All is well, all is good. Many blessings. My name is Zaza. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you.